the new table in the specialty center. This is potentially dangerous because it moves. So that's why it comes with a key. And so we'll probably be keeping this key elsewhere just so that a kid doesn't accidentally come in here and get hurt. But for this to work, you have to have the key on. And for the motion device, we're gonna go really slow. We always start slow, so I'm going down here at like 10 degrees per second, just because you don't wanna have anybody surprised. I'll be kind of talking through the features as we go, but there's an adjustment up here if you want to extend the bars out. These are what the people hold on to, but as I'm setting my mom up on this, I'll go ahead and just kind of discuss the various features. So the important thing would be having the feet hang over the edge. So somebody that's closer to the 5-foot range here, we're gonna actually take this thing off, because again, we want feet hanging over the edge. Now, if they were really tall, we would have it extended out. And then of course, you'd need to tighten these things back up for a tall person, but we're not dealing with a tall person. So when you lay down on this, Mom, I want your ankles hanging over like this. So you're going to be on your stomach, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so your ankles are hanging off, and then you can just rest your head down there. And then eventually this thing's going to be moving, so you can have your arms down here like that. You can hold on right there. Some people hold on way up here, but I think that's probably too much of a reach for you, okay? And then from there, we're gonna try to get you kind of squared up on this a bit. So I'm just gonna slide your hips over just a bit. And since we're gonna be doing range of motion, we wanna start from some mild extension, and this is gonna probably even be more comfortable anyway. I'm going to drop your abdominal section down a little bit. So I'm gonna pull up on this lever, and then we're pushing down. But see how I was holding here? Because you don't want it to startle. How does that feel right there?
That feels better to
yeah, and if you're not very strong, I would make this adjustment before. Most important thing is it has to be supported, otherwise that would have dropped down and surprised her, and there might have even been some discomfort there. So I showed you how to do it with the person on the table, but if so, you better be ready to have some weight here. Again, safest thing is to make this adjustment beforehand. So now we have just a little bit of lordosis going on there. And this thing does do traction, but we're gonna start with motion first, okay? So, Mom, what you're gonna feel is this lower half is gonna go up and down. If you feel pain, let me know, and I'll stop the machine, okay? The range of motion, we do not control. That's always gonna be the same, but the speed we do control. So this is gonna be a little slow. And notice that I'm doing this before I add traction, because traction is a little bit more aggressive. So we're just gonna go down. You feel that going down?
Yes.
And this will kind of catch your feet a little bit. You feel that little bit of a stretch?
I do, yes.
Does it feel good?
Well, I definitely feel it, where my back has a little problem, but I do feel that stretch. Feels good.
So it took us 30 seconds, but we got to the remark, it feels good. I'm teasing you in your explanation.
Oh.
So that's going down again. It looks pretty benign, but this is a little bit aggressive. You feel that stretch, don't you?
I do, yes.
Yeah, and see, you'll notice that we didn't strap in the ankles, which we have the capability, and we didn't strap in the torso, which we also have the capability. You should never use those straps the first, maybe not even the second time, because really just the person's body weight is enough to keep them on the table and with them holding. The straps are a lot more aggressive, so introduce those once a person has already demonstrated tolerance to that. So You're still feeling that pretty good, aren't you?
Yes, it
And-
feels good though.
Yeah, and then if you want to kind of isolate the stretch, when the person is in the up direction here, you can go ahead and just kind of block more at the thoracic spine, and then on the way down, we're gonna be getting a little bit of mobilization there. I'm not gonna do that in this case because again, we're dealing with a pretty tight back and I don't wanna over-treat. I'm gonna stop this at the top and I'm gonna apply a little bit of traction now, okay? So you notice when I do that, see how that pulls apart? How does that feel?
I didn't feel much different.
Okay, so let's go a little bit more. How about there? You feel a little bit
I'm
of a
just
pull?
starting to feel it, yes.
Yeah, and if it was much more, then your feet would probably be catching. Now that we've warmed you up, we've added a little bit of traction, now we can go back with the movement again. And this one, you're gonna probably feel it a little bit more than before. How are we doing with that?
I felt it, but it's not painful.
Okay, and so now we're gonna go ahead and increase the speed here. I actually think you'll like a little bit of speed on this. So now we're at about 30 degrees per second. And then your job is just to relax. That should feel good.
You know what, son, I like about it? When I used to do the other traction, it really, I
So
felt.
now we're gonna put this in here, although we're getting a sales pitch there. We're gonna put this in here. And we're gonna institute a little bit of lateral motion. And so, in fact, I'll wait until we're up to the top here. Sorry for interrupting, Mom. But now we're going to release this lock. And now you notice we can go that way, we can go this way. So let's go ahead and add some lateral treatment. So we're gonna just get this going so that now, can you feel that a little bit more on the left side?
Yes,
And really, you're not strapped in there. So if I wanted to do this without straps, I would probably just kind of hold you in this position a little bit. You just don't want this to come down on your thigh and hurt you. Now, if we wanted to go the other way, so now you feel that a little bit more on your right side.
I do.
Yeah. And again, if we were going to do a unilateral stretch like that, that's where I'd probably choose to strap in the ankles. But never start with them strapped in. Always warm a person up, make sure they feel okay with it. I'm gonna remember to lock this, otherwise getting off of this thing can be kind of dangerous. And now we're just hanging out there, and if you're like me, then you go ahead, then this feels pretty good. You were saying that you like this better than the other kind of traction?
Oh my goodness, yes, this feels good. This is really